Hello, so welcome to a way of doing the third movement of the Pathetique sonata. Alright, well never mind, just stood on it. Okay, I will deal with it later. The third movement of the Pathetique. It may not be a favourite movement, but it's and it can be tricky. That the main theme is actually quite difficult, to be honest. But you got to get used to that. Now, what I would recommend to do this third movement, and I did it before and I've forgotten it, the whole thing. So the whole third movement. So I'm having to relearn it, and I realised what I should have done is gone about it this way, which I didn't do, but I should have done. I should have done the fourth episode, which combines the main theme first. So if you look at the Pathetique, you'll find that it's a rondo. But this main theme happens at the beginning, then you've got your first episode, and then it happens for a second time here, and then you got your second episode, and then it happens a third time, and you've got another episode, a third episode, and then it happens a fourth time, and that goes into the fourth episode. So they combine. So what I'd say, because is to do that fourth episode, which begins with the main theme. You'll find that only does half of the main theme, which is good because you don't want to. I just think that it's good to do only half of it, and it goes straight into a really great episode, the best of all of the episodes by a long way, in my opinion. It's the last episode, which ends the movement, ends the whole sonata. So I just play it as best I can and show you how it's sort of where that main theme stops and where the fourth episode begins, and try to explain why I think it's so good. I should explain now, actually, since I'm looking at the camera. I think it's so good because it's such a good way to do it because, number one, you will be, if you haven't done it before, if you haven't done any of it, or if you've forgotten, but especially if you've forgotten, if you haven't done this third movement before, begin with that fourth time it comes around, so you only have half of the main theme, and then go straight into the fourth episode, which ends the whole movement. Why? Because if you can do the first half of this main theme, then you've done half of it. And once you've finished this fourth episode, which has half of the main theme, then when you come to do the other episodes, the other 3 episodes, each which is preceded by the whole theme, then you'll have already done half of it, and so so it won't be much of an effort to complete that main theme, and I think that gives you impetus to finish the rest of the movement. So I'll try to play slowly. First of all, I'll play slowly the whole main theme, which recurs 3.5 times. No, sorry, 3.5 times, and then I will play it when it only happens half a time, and then go straight into the fourth episode. I.e., I'll then play its last appearance when it only appears as half. Okay, so here we go. So why it's so good is because it's a delight to play, and it's not, I think, too difficult, and it's, as I say, by far the most sort of exhilarating of the various episodes, which are all quite good, which appear in this final movement. So and also Yeah, also as you're working through the other episodes, you can always end by just going like this. So, in other words, if you kind of get stuck through halfway through one of the episodes, then you can always just finish your episode with that, and it always fits in very nicely. And then you can sort of have something which you can repeat or do in a cycle, in a cyclical way. So okay, so here we go for the main theme. So I thought with both its sections. Second half. Okay, that's the whole theme. Played rather badly, but the way I'd recommend to do it is just do half of that theme, which is how it appears here. Yeah, it just begins here. Okay, it only does half of it. It starts a bit differently, but anyway, sort of does half of it, and then it's yeah, up to here. Okay, does from all these measures. That's only half of it. Okay, starts a bit differently, tiny bit differently. Don't hit him, John. And then, alright, James, stop it now, or no Octonauts. Then it goes on to this last episode, which ends the whole sonata. And so that's what I'll be doing now. So it goes, it actually starts like that. So put your hand like that. But as I say, I think you should, don't start like that when you're learning. Just start as if it's from the beginning. Start with, you can do it that way. Actually, you'll find it starts with your fingers already down and like this. Yeah. Okay, but what I recommend starting as the piece as the main theme usually begins, which is like this. Okay, so we'll do that. It only does half of it this time. Remember, it begins like that actually, but let's hear. Down to here. Now it goes to this. Now prepare that. Prepare. I mucked that up a little bit at the very end, but it's quite easy. It's very easy at the end. So prepare your fingers, the left hand, and do that rundown. It's very easy. A flat major scale. So there we go. Sorry, C minor scale. Sorry, A flat major scale, and then the C minor scale. They're both worth preparing the left hand first for. So hopefully that can help with that third movement. I really recommend that as the way to go about it. To do with that fourth appearance, the fourth and final appearance of the main theme, half of it only, and then that last episode, which is so good. So thank you very much. Hopefully that's helped you with your learning of the Pathetique sonata. I've got other videos about how to do the other two movements to make it sort of more manageable. So if you're anything like me, you appreciate doing things in a way which is kind of cyclical, goes round and around until you manage the whole thing. It gives you something which is kind of like a work that you can produce, which is quite satisfying to play. Otherwise you're just playing with bits. As I do it with all the pieces I'm learning, I always try to make them into a mini version of the whole thing with just the bits that I know, by having the beginning of it, the bit that I'm working on, beginning until the bit I'm working on, and then connecting that with the way it ends. Then you can play it like a sort of cycle. Play it. You can maybe link that back to the beginning again, like a cyclical thing. But at least if you just connect it to the end, you make it into a mini sort of work, and it's much easier to learn lots of pieces like this. This is of course not sight reading. This is how to memorize pieces. I find it's very easy, very beneficial to do it this way, linking the ending to the beginning, and working on each movement or the whole of a work, if it's a smaller work like a Schubert impromptu. But if it's a sonata, then you can do the same thing with each movement. It makes the whole thing much more enjoyable, much more manageable, and hopefully that helps you. And I'll see you next video.